Dozens of state champions are set to be crowned over the next few weeks. Welcome in, everybody. I'm Christina Chambers with AHSAA TV Weekly. We're going to hear from AHSAA Executive Director Alvin Briggs, who dives in deep about the spring sport championships involving soccer, track, softball, baseball, golf, and the heptathlon and decathlon. We will also hear from Alexandria High School star softball player Ashley Phillips and her coach Brian Hess, who tied a national record last week, and you may find it hard to believe. Plus, David Holtzford highlights featuring all of our current spring sports. You don't want to miss it. Stay with us.
Silicaga's best kept secret? No more. Harvey's on Noble is the place to go for the area's best food and drinks. Whether you're in the mood for steak, burgers, salad, seafood, or dessert, Harvey's on Noble will not disappoint, and the atmosphere is perfect for catching the big game or just relaxing after work. Harvey's is open for dinner Wednesday through Saturdays, so round up the family and we'll see you at Harvey's on Noble, downtown Silicaga.
The weather is warming up and spring is just around the corner at Miller Sand and Landscape Supply. I'm Craig Miller, and we've got something for everyone. From bulk materials like sand, gravel, and mulch to beautiful outdoor decor to make your outdoor living space the envy of the neighborhood. See our beautiful selection of Mazzarelli fountains, flowers to brighten your garden, and an outdoor center loaded with beautiful decor. Whether you need a little or a lot, visit Miller Sand and Landscape Supply.
It's hard to believe we are on the home stretch of state championships this spring, and I want to welcome in AHSAA Executive Director Alvin Briggs with us here this evening. Good afternoon, Coach. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, Christina. Thank you for having me on this afternoon. It's a lovely day, and yes, we on the home stretch. It's hard to believe that this year's almost over.
It sure is, Coach, and I want to talk about the Spring Sport Championships. We have a full lineup coming up in the next few weeks here in May to close out the school year. We have track this weekend, then you have softball, baseball, golf, the list goes on. Just what are you most looking forward to as these state championships begin to wrap up at the end of this month?
Well, you know, we just wrapped up tennis state championship last week. You know, so April kind of gets everything going with tennis, and you know we got baseball and softball area tournaments starting, and sub-regional golf, and it's so exciting because it gives our spring sports a chance to get out. And you know, we're still in the midst of COVID and the things in the pandemic, so that's what makes it so exciting for this year, because we're going to finally have another year where we missed, you know, previous years before. So it's exciting for the spring sports to be out again and to get going through and ready for those championships.
Has this time of year, this past year, how fast has it flown by for you?
Oh, it's been extremely fast, because this time last year we was putting in our application for the job and didn't know when the interviews were going to be, but we still had track championships. I was getting ready to go to Gulf Shores for track championships, and we still had baseball and softball, and you know, next week we got soccer state championships, and you know that calendar stays full, and it keeps you on your toes, and there's always a championship in the month of May.
Coach, for you, how have you grown and developed since taking over for Coach Savarese. I mean, can you just, put into words what this past year has meant to you? I mean, some huge accomplishments for you. You set a record attendance in the Super 7 championships in Birmingham at Protective Stadium. More than 65,000 fans showed up to Legacy Arena for the 100th AHSAA State Basketball Tournament. So what can you say just about what this year has meant to you just taking over?
First of all, I didn't set any record. Our membership did. They did a great job in attendance in our communities with Super 7 and basketball and all of our attendance. I'm just proud that we're able to put on events for our communities to come be a part of. I'm also excited that we have communities that want our events. That's the other big plug, that we have communities that want our events. And that's what's so exciting. This year's been kind of a blur, to say the least. I mean, it's all gone by so fast and trying to get a handle on things. I don't have Coach to run down and kind of push things on his desk and take off back down the hallway. It all kind of sits with me now. And so getting adjusted to that. And, the staff is great. I tell you, Coach did a great job in hiring this staff. The staff is awesome. We just been continuing to develop and growing the things that he left us with. And so he left the association in great shape. And that's what's the most exciting part, that, all we got to do is move on with what the legacy he laid. He laid a great legacy, and he did, Mr. Washburn and Mr. Scott did the same thing. And so that's what our agenda is. And it's just great. I mean, we work with great people, and they know what their jobs are and how to do it. And so each week we just give details on what's coming on in the week and move on to the next week. And, it's never a rest for the weary.
That is so true. And you guys have your hands full, like we said, over the next 3 weeks. State championships every weekend, from softball, baseball, track, golf, you name it. I mean, you guys are going to be super busy. How do you do it? How do you guys, stay focused and include all those schools and fans that are coming to these state championships? How do you guys get it done?
Well, like I mentioned, the staff, everybody's in charge of a sport, and they're working on those sports all year long. They don't wait till the week before. They don't wait 2 weeks. They're visiting the venues. They're talking to the people at those venues. They're laying down the framework. They're talking to the sports committees. And it's just a weekly step that they take and getting culminating. It's just like coaching any team that you have. And we have all our sport directors have coached a sport that they're coaching, that they're directing at some point. So they understand what each coach and what each city is looking for. And so that's what the progress is worked through. And we debrief after every event to talk about it. And, it's great that we're able to do that. And the other aspect is that WOTM is going to do some of the broadcasting this spring for some of the sports. And then we had an NFH network. So if there's an issue where somebody can't come, there's always an avenue for them to see it. So that's what's great about what we have and what we're doing here at the association.
Well, we're excited to see all these teams compete as playoffs continue to get underway and move on in the second and third and fourth rounds. So we're excited to see those teams play. In closing, do you have any advice for those athletes who are competing right now and, trying to win a state championship, whether if it's for the first time ever or maybe they've won one before? What's your message to these athletes as they close out this year?
Soak in what you're doing, enjoy what you're doing, have fun. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. It's all about enjoying what you do. And if you enjoy what you do and you do the best you possibly can do, then that's all you can ask. I mean, that's all you look forward to, is doing the best to what you can do. You're a former athlete and still an athlete. You understand that. We don't win every match that we're in. We don't win every race that we compete in. Well, by accomplishing that personal best and doing the very best we can, that's all any of us can ask for, and that's what we want. And that's what we look forward to. We want to see those people excited about the where they're finishing. You know, yes, our ultimate goal is to win that state championship, but ultimately it's just to have fun and enjoy what you do.
Well, Coach, it's always a pleasure to speak to you, and we appreciate all the hard work that the AHSAA does for student athletes across our state. So wish you a lot of fun these next few weeks as you guys get to crown a lot of state championships. So we appreciate you, Coach.
Christina, we want to thank you for what you do for high school athletics and your commitment, seeing you around the state and what you do, being a former athlete. You understand what these athletes are going through, and I've seen you love on some athletes who didn't do as well as they thought it was going to do, and cheer them up and pick them up. That's a great part about what you do. You not only just interview them, but you're there to cheer them on too. And we appreciate what you do, and we couldn't do this without you. So we want to thank you.
Thank you so much, Coach. Well, don't go anywhere. We're going to hear from a softball player and coach about what it's like to set a national record. Stay with us.
The Advantage Plus Roofing Team offers commercial and residential roofing services. Their exceptional craftsmanship, high-quality materials, and knowledgeable staff will deliver superior results at affordable prices every time. Call your local Advantage Plus Roofing office today at 256-375-9339 and find out why customers rate Advantage Plus Roofing #1 in satisfaction. Estimates are always free and financing options are available. Upgrade your home with the best roofing company in Central Alabama.
Welcome to the award-winning Chocolaca Park in Oxford, Alabama. We believe Chocolaca Park is the place to be, and our fans agree, describing the park as breathtaking, professional, and fun for all. With plenty of parking, restrooms, concessions, and a top-notch staff, we are confident your experience will be second to none. Join us today at Chocolaca Park.
Don't just dream it. Call Family Savings Credit Union. Right now, get something you want for as low as 2.24% APR. You can even apply online or by phone. Family Savings Credit Union, where your money grows with you and your family.
Hey guys, my name is Thomas Shelton, aka the Alpha Man. I'm the proud presenting sponsor of High School Primetime with Buckethead and the King. When you think high school football, think High School Primetime. And when you think of insurance, think of me, Thomas Shelton at Alpha Insurance. I'm a proud sponsor of many of our local teams. I give out over $7,500 a year to our local teams in our community. As part of Alpha, we've been in the community giving back for over 100 years, and I'd love to be your agent next time you think of insurance. Thanks so much.
Alexandria softball star Ashley Phillips is etching her name in the national history books. I'm super excited to welcome in Alexandria head softball coach Brian Hess and Ashley. Coach, I know that you guys just walked off the field. How was practice today as you guys gear up for the Class 5A Area 11 softball tournament coming up this week?
We had a good practice today. Usually day before the games is more laid back than any other time. So we got what we needed to get done in before the games tomorrow.
Now we want to talk about Ashley. Obviously, she has tied a national record against Claiborne County. She hit 2 Grand Slam home runs in 1 inning. Ashley, how did you do it? Walk us through what went through your mind that inning and those 2 home runs.
I really wasn't even thinking about hitting home runs. I was just trying to do the correct form, hit line drives, score some runs. But I mean, I knew the second time when I came up, when they had walked the batter before me again, I was like, it would be kind of nice to hit another one.
So walk us through your second at bat. So you've hit 1 grand slam, and then like you said, you walk up to the plate. What went through your mind when you saw that ball sail through the air and over the fence?
I really just wasn't trying to do too much in my swing, and it felt really nice to. I knew it had to be something as a record, hitting another one.
Ashley, you are just the 11th person, I don't know if you know this, according to the NFHS National Record Book, to slug 2 grand slams in 1 inning in national history. No one has done that since 2016. When you hear those stats, what goes through your mind?
It feels kind of nice to maybe be able to leave a legacy here at Alexandria, just so maybe people could remember me.
Coach, I want to talk to you. What was going through your mind when you saw Ashley hit 2 of these out of the park?
Well, the first one was a line drive right out of there, and it's not anything unusual. And then as the inning went on, I really wasn't paying much attention. We had runners at second and third, and they walked our leadoff batter, Jill Cockrell, to load the bases, and Ashley come up again. I'm going, now if she hits another one here, it's got to be something. I don't know what it is, but it's got to be something, because I've never seen it and didn't think anything else about it. And about 4 pitches in, when she hit it, we all knew it was gone. And I didn't think much else about it. I was just kind of in shock that it happened. And after it was over with, we talked to our administrator, and he said that's a record. Nobody's ever done that in 1 inning. And have eight, I think it's 8 RBIs. Nobody in the state had done that. And we all kind of thought that was a pretty cool thing. But she's always been one of those hard workers, and the fact that this happened to her does not shock any of us. She's always trying to find a way to get better and better her teammates.
How has that moment, did it spark your team? I mean, you guys are gearing up for the area tournament. Do you feel like that experience and just that emotion and positivity, how do you think that'll help you guys in the area tournament coming up?
Oh, I think it's that should light a fire under our group. We kind of struggled that Monday night, and so to have that happen on Thursday right before we start the area tournament, that's something we've been looking for, kind of that spark to hopefully get things going in the playoffs.
In your coaching career, have you ever seen anything like this?
No, I've been doing this 22 years. I've never seen anything like it. So as a guy told me a long time ago, the longer you stay in this, you'll see some different things. And I was glad to be able to witness it.
Ashley, just your departing thoughts as you head into the area tournament. How much confidence do you have going up to the plate of maybe hitting another one in the tournament coming up?
Right now, everything's just looking good to me. I hope it stays that way through the area tournament.
All right, thank you guys so much. Such a pleasure to talk to you guys this afternoon. We know you guys have a lot to prepare for the area, and we wish you guys nothing but the best of luck. And Ashley, keep swinging away.
Thank you.
Appreciate y'all covering us.
Thank you so much, Coach. Well, don't go anywhere. Coming up, we'll have those much anticipated highlights of the week, and you don't want to miss these. We'll be right back.
I'm Alan Parnell of the Parnell Insurance Agency. For 28 years, we've provided our clients in Alabama and Georgia with home, automobile, life, business insurance, and surety bonds. Our Oxford personal line staff is Michelle, Christy, Elisa, and Ty. Our Oxford administrative staff is Alan, Amber, Carrie, and Ty. We invite you to come to one of our offices in Oxford, Alabama, or Tallapoosa, Georgia, and discuss your insurance needs with one of our insurance professionals.
Hello, I'm Taylor Sloan with the City of Oxford, with a word about one of our city's most precious resources, water. Clean water enriches our lives in so many ways, but we cannot afford to take it for granted. Remember, every time you pour something unnatural down the drain or in the environment, and every time you litter, our beautiful lakes and creeks suffer. Our city is beautiful. Let's all join together to keep it that way. Stop pollution where it starts, and help protect our waters for life.
HMR of Alabama provides services for Alabama's state veterans' homes and is proud to serve the Colonel Robert Howard State Veterans Home in Pell City. With competitive pay and benefits, your career serving those who served our country can begin today. If you like to help people and enjoy new challenges, contact HMR of Alabama by logging on to hmrveteranservices.com and choose the Careers tab to find out how you can join the HMR team.
I need the King boys.
Don't call two clowns in a tow truck when you're dreaming of them King boys.
Welcome back, everybody. Before we check out those amazing highlights this week, let's check in with Caleb Brooks with the AHSAA Radio Network podcast, who talks with baseball coach Drew Miller from GW Long, who had a lot of fun things to say.
That's what I was going to add. I mean, you know, with the amount of guys you have coming back from that team, there has to be a lot of motivation with this group to get back to that point and end it the way that you guys want to end it this year.
Yeah, you're right. You know, I don't want to say we have a bitter taste in our mouth, because each year's a new year, but at the same time, when you make it to the championship game and you fall short, it's just not a good feeling. You know, the one thing that kind of kept me at peace about it was Westbrook Christian was just better than us. I mean, we've played them multiple times in the championship game, and it was really similar to 3 years ago when we played them in the championship game. We had the veteran team. We had the seniors that had been there before, and it just totally flipped on us. Last year we were inexperienced, and they had been there. So it was kind of ironic the way that happened.
Can you see a different maybe level of hunger, you know, like in this off season when you guys were working, things like that, you know, when you make it and you lose, you're not used to losing the state championship game. Was there maybe a different level of hunger you saw from your guys with the way they worked this off season, the way they prepared for this year?
Maybe a little bit. We don't talk about it a whole lot. It's definitely probably in the back of their mind, but it's not something I bring up. I was really proud of those guys last year. I mean, we had a lot of guys in our lineup that had never seen time. When we start the year, every year, we have in a small school, we have to share athletes. And we, starting last year, I think we had one varsity at bat in our lineup when we started the year that had a varsity at bat. It was very similar this year when we started the year in game one. We had to bring up 2 8th graders, and we only had 11 guys in our dugout. We had 7 guys that were playing on our basketball team, and that made a deep run. So they saw success in the winter, and we think that, you know, some of that hopefully is, these guys that had been a part of a winning program, and that's done nothing but help us. So, starting the year sometimes becomes difficult because we don't have all our guys out there, but at the same time, sometimes it helps.
Thank you, Caleb. You can hear his podcast, the HSA podcast, on Spotify, Apple, and YouTube. Now let's move on to the much anticipated highlights of the week. We're going to start with 7A baseball in the first round with Auburn versus Prattville. The defending 7A champs Auburn used their hot bats to take game one 14-1 in the best 2 of 3 series. Game 2, though, as Auburn scores 2 runs in the first inning off the bats of Patrick McGlawn's sacrifice fly. Henry Allen's RBI, fielder's choice up the middle, became one of the game's top defensive plays by the Lions shortstop, with his throw to first to nip Allen out at the plate. Auburn sweeps the series 2-0 and will host Alma Bryant this coming week in the 7A quarterfinals. Over in Class 6A baseball, round 2 of the playoffs, it's Chelsea versus my high school alma mater, Coleman. The series tied at 1-1. We picked this one up in Game 3 on Saturday. Chelsea set the tone early, scoring 7 runs in the first 3 innings, slugging 3 home runs in the game. Reed Gongwer smashed a solo shot to give Chelsea the 1-0 lead. Evan Jones would pound a homer himself, and Gongwer closes the long ball action with his second home run of the game as the Hornets beat Coleman 7-2 to win the series. Chelsea now advances to the quarterfinals and will face Hazel Green this weekend. Over in Oxford, the Yellow Jackets hosting Hazel Green. Hazel Green, which won the 6A state title in 2018, pounded 16 hits in the first game to win 11-3 over Oxford. Joseph Medley pounded a long home run, and Jackson Better had 2 doubles. He picked up the mound win as Hazel Green sweeps the series, winning Game 2 2-1 to keep their 2022 state championship hopes alive. Staying in 6A baseball, we move to Pelham at Saraland. These teams split a pair in the Class 6A state playoffs on Friday, so we picked this one up in Game 3 on Saturday. The Panthers scored in the first inning on a Zach Egan line drive to the outfield that brought home J.D. Wilkins. Then, later in the 6th inning, Pelham capitalizes with an RBI single from Clayton Maines for an insurance run as the Panthers advance to round 3 this week with the 2-0 win. Pelham will be at home again to face powerful Hueytown Friday afternoon. Over in Class 5A, it's Holtville versus Demopolis. The Class 5A Bulldogs continuing their hot streak with a identical 4-1 wins to sweep Demopolis. Drew Barrett pitched a complete game to get the opening win. Todd Wilson hurled Game 2, striking out, get this, 12 to get the second win. He also was Holtville's hot bat of the day, going 4 for 8 in the doubleheader with 2 RBIs. The Bulldogs go on the road this week all the way to Mobile to take on UMS Wright Friday in the best 2 of 3 quarterfinals series. Over in 7A softball, it's Central Phoenix City versus Opelika. Central Phoenix City celebrates the final regular season game with special player introductions prior to the start of its game against Opelika. Cam Hammock opens the scoring with a field's choice to plate a run for the Red Devils. Presley Holmes would add to the lead with a hustling RBI triple. And Bree Murray slugs a 3-run homer to make it 5-1. McKinnon Howard adds another Central home run as the Red Devils coast to a 12-1 win. All softball teams in the AHSAA are in the area tournament this week, with regional tournaments next week at Gulf Shores, Montgomery, Albertville, and Florence. We close out this week's action with Westminster Christian and West Limestone soccer in Class 4A 5A. We picked this one up with penalty kicks in the shootout with Westminster Christian's keeper Josh Pomenitz, who saves the West Limestone shot. The Wildcats' teammate Matthew Dodd seals the win, though, with this deciding goal with the kick just out of the reach of the West Limestone goalkeeper. Westminster Christian survives a 2-overtime shutout to advance to the 3rd round of the soccer playoffs. Westminster Christian will face Russellville this weekend. Hey, we want to thank David Holtzford for all these amazing highlights and all the NFHS partners and schools. If you have some exciting action happening on your campus, be sure to email David your highlights and they can be featured right here on AHSAA TV Weekly. Well, we want to thank you so much for joining us. Be sure to stay tuned for next week with more spring sport championships and interviews. Thanks so much.